You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Giving you that grease.
That's right, Las Vegas and all my sports bettors around the world. You're rocking with the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket, live from the VSX Digital Studios here in Las Vegas. Talking this NFL. Bringing it back. It's a big week, week 7 in the NFL, and we got to get paid. After last week's debacles, we are bringing in new grease all the way from L.A. here on the line with us. My main man, Pop DiBiase, 12-ounce radio. What's going on, my friend?
What's up, what's up? It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper. And boy, oh boy, it's such an honor to be on the show today with you, man.
Thank you so much again. Follow him on Twitter at Pop DiBiase. Check him out on Instagram at DiBiaseWave_. You also got a great show called Primetime Angles live daily on Instagram, and we're going to be jumping into this NFL with you shortly. Again, this segment is being brought to you by UWager LV. Use promo code SCORE50 and watch the game free on Fubo TV. Both of those offers are on VegasScoreboardExpress.com. So again, Pop, thanks so much for being on the show. Now, we've been following you a little bit on Twitter. You've been dropping winners all over the place, putting cash in people's pockets. That's what we like to see here on the big board. So tell the fans a little bit about you, a little bit more about your show, and then we'll get into this big game. Go ahead.
Well, I've been around for a little bit here on social media, on the Twitters and everything, like for about 5 years and everything. Did a few different shows, Capcast, that ran for 105 episodes. Then we started the Primetime Angles, which was a radio show in the beginning, and then turned into a daily stream show over time, just because you know how things are going now in the world. Pretty much me and my partner, Jeff Dawson, the founder, CEO of East Coast Sports Investors, we came together to do our own show called the NFL Bet Exchange. It's actually on the 12-ounce Sports Network on Zingo TV on channel 761. So you guys can catch our weekly show Thursday through Sunday there as well, too, that we just go over all the angles, pretty much getting an early look at all the action and everything like that, trying to supply winners for you guys on Sundays. You guys can always watch the daily show, which is every single day, and we do have a Sunday show as well too that is very dedicated to the tickets that I'm going to be putting out for the NFL. I try to do it early so people get the ticket in the line. I already know how it is in Vegas, living there for almost 2 years and everything like that, and being back and forth all the time. So I know you got to get your butt up, get over there, and get to those windows and get those tickets in, because those lines are very long.
That's right. You got to get up, get to the window, and beat the line. You're rocking with the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket, live with Pop DiBiase from 12-ounce Sports, affiliate of East Coast Sports Investors. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show with us today. So, with that being said, we're going to jump into it. In Thursday Night Football, New York Giants went out to Philadelphia and lost again, 21-22. This is a team that I'm telling you right now, either they have to sell the team, figure out a way to get new players. Saquon Barkley's gone for the season with an injury. Where do you see this team going forward? Because the draft, we're not really sure how that's going to turn out. Coronavirus, college football is back, by the way. We are going to see some Big Ten football tomorrow, so that's always a good thing. But in the relationship to where we are right now, do you think that there's an opportunity for the New York Giants to turn this season around? They can't seem to score, and they can't seem to pull out a win.
Well, man, this is crazy, because Tuesday when we recorded the show, I said, I'm going to take the Eagles' money line because it was at minus 190, because they can probably only win this game by a point or so, because this is going to be a struggle for them regardless of anything. I can't trust them on the spread. So what happens? They come back yesterday, win by 1 point. But the problem with the Giants is right now is that they're a building team, and they're growing, and they're figuring themselves out. This team's actually played better football over the last 3 weeks. It's not a bad-looking 1-5 team, but 1-5 is 1-5 at the end of the day. But when you have a 21-10 lead in the fourth quarter, you have to protect that lead. You knew that the initial touchdown was coming from the Eagles, and try to get yourself in position to where we get into the winning formation and kneeling down. And they weren't able to do that. And the moment you saw that happen, I know that the air went out of every single Giants fan, period, because they knew what was coming. And this is what always happens with bad teams, as is. You know what I mean? Because they're going to get a big lead sometime in the fourth quarter, but when they can't finish that portion of the game, it always works out in the worst way. They always wind up either losing the game or having to come back and figure out a way to win the game. But the Giants aren't good enough yet to be in that category of winning the game. So you could feel the loss coming as we kept going. I'm just very happy that my clients were able to cash out on the under 44.5. That was the best thing the Giants did for me last night.
That's what I'm talking about.
Those 2-point conversions.
Because the Giants can't seem to get anything going. 2-point conversions down the toilet, getting you nowhere, not getting you paid. Again, you're rocking with the boss of the big board with my special guest, Prime Time Cap'n. You can follow him over at Pop DiBiase on Twitter. So let's jump into it. It's the game that a lot of folks are talking about. You being an L.A. native, I think it's going to be interesting to see what is going to happen. So NFL Week 7, we're ready to go. Rotation number 479, the Jacksonville Jaguars are flying out to your hometown to take on rotation number 480, the LA Chargers. You got Justin Herbert. He's looking great, but you got a coach who can't seem to close out wins, and that's going to be costing you money on your ticket. So, again, in this particular game, you got the Chargers minus 7.5. That means you got to give me a touchdown and a field goal. Don't rely on that 2-point conversion, like I said before. Quick way to take a loss on this, but we do have a total 49. So, in your opinion, do you think that Justin Herbert can start getting more open in the playbook? He seems to have a mastery of this basic system that they're running right now, but because they have a really bad running game right now, you haven't really seen too much out of the running backs. He's been doing it with his arm. He's been doing it with his legs. Great clock management. It's just the play calling at the end of the game, which has them at 1-4 right now, 0-2 at home, but they're 4-1 against the spread, and that's where I'm talking about there could be some value here if they can get the scores early. Go ahead.
All right. This is my angle on it. And first and foremost, we know that the Chargers belong to San Diego. They're just up in L.A. for extra promo. So pretty much that's my point right there with the Chargers right there. But this is the game right here. This is the game. The Chargers, you just hit everything right on top of the head, JB. This is how this game's going to work. This is going to be the coming out party for Herbert this weekend because the Jags are absolutely awful. They had us fooled the first 3 games of the season, and then they had to roll into that Miami game, and they are who they are. So the Chargers, this is your opportunity to get your blowout game, to get your confidence boost up, and get yourself in a position now to maybe make a move here in the second half of the season because Herbert passed all the tests on Monday Night Football against the Saints. The only thing that let him down was the defense and the poor play calling at the end of the game. And I think that we all got the memo in the Buccaneers game as well, too. They get their first win of the season here at home. This is not going to be like the Panthers game where they got caught slipping. And I had the Panthers that day because I knew that was going to happen. But in this game right here, they should win this game by 10 or better. I got him at the minus 7.5. No problem. I'm not even blinking about this one. You can double down, I feel like, on this one.
You're talking about it. You hear him right now, Pop DiBiase. He said, bring it to the table. L.A. is going to get you paid. You're rocking with the boss of the big board, Vegas Scoreboard Express. You're going to get your 7 days free Fubo TV. Like you said, Jaguars, they're bad. Can Minshew Mania sneak in and maybe get an over on that total? Go ahead.
Well, Minshew, I think what it is, the tape is out. And I think the good defenses know how to go combat that. And the Lions' defense isn't better than the Chargers' defense, in my opinion. The Chargers have played against much better over the last few weeks. They played against some of the best teams in the NFC, in the South, and things of that nature. They played Kansas City as well, too. And then, they ran into a Carolina team that had won 3 in a row. So, the Chargers needed a break. They need a mediocre type team here to beat up on. So the over can happen, but I think the way the Chargers defense plays, they'll be able to hold it down and really be able to take advantage of this team in the sense to where Herbert's going to be able to have longer drives. So it might shorten the game. So I think that it might fall a little short of the over because we haven't went over yet at home with the Chargers yet either. So, pretty much I feel like this will probably slightly stay under the 49.
That's what I'm talking about. Pop DiBiase. Pop, any shout-outs before we go? Follow him on Twitter at Pop DiBiase. Again, you got the Daily Sports Show on Instagram, DiBiase Wave _. Also, Primetime Angles. Anybody else you want to give a shout-out to in podcast land?
I want to give a big shout out to you, JB, for having me on the show today. I want to give a big shout out to my man Jeff Dawson as well too. Webby, you guys can all, everybody in the biz right now that, you know, that rocks with the wave and everything like that. Big shout out to you. Too many people to name. And pretty much you guys just know the website is launching very soon, primewavemedia.com. And you guys already know if you do want to be an exclusive client, you guys hit me up on the Twitter at PopDiBiase, and you guys can become a part of the Primetime Sports Investors and maybe, you know, start getting those value bets, those good dog bets, you know, those sound bets. We don't love chalk where I'm at. So, you know, hit me up on the Twitter at PopDiBiase, hit me on the IG, DBICWave_, but to sign up and, you know, talk more client talk at PTSI on IG as well too. So there it is, bro.
That's what I'm talking about. My main man, Pop DiBiase. The West Coast is in the building. You know what time it is. Get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board.